to do a financial strategy session so you can get on the right track, and let us know if you would like to be part of our team. We're a big family, so let us know if you would like to be part of us, okay? Thank you for coming out. We've got cupcakes and everything, but don't bring out the office. Like, what?
Welcome, friend. We are excited to help you discover your new look. My name is Shanidra Matthews, and I started Amara 2 Classy Boutique to help women find classy and chic items for all sizes. It's not like the store experience. If we don't have your size, you can go on our website and purchase your size in your favorite outfit.
Hello, everyone. This is your girl, Shanidra, with Let's Dig Deep. Yes, indeedy, if you can hear me clearly. Now I'm going to break the title down so you can be found wearing your crown. There's no backing down now. You're going to find your crown. Now, the title of today is The Waiting Room. As you can see behind me, there's a waiting room, and nobody likes waiting. The anticipation in the waiting room is just like, you're waiting on either the results or the outcome, how it's going to look, because right now it's looking crazy and you're just waiting just to see how it's going to be. What are the results in this? Like, what is this going to result to? Because it's outside of you. You have no control. You just have to let go and go with the flow of whatever it is. So that's what I'm going to talk about on today. The waiting room. We've all had to be in the waiting room. The waiting room. I mean, everyone from Joseph to Yahweh Jesus. Jesus even had to be in the waiting room. He had a waiting period. Daniel had a waiting period. They all, any one of them that God has chosen had a waiting period. Even Moses, after the Lord told Moses that they was going to be delivered out of Egypt, they had a waiting period. Everything got hard before they were delivered out. Even with a woman being pregnant, we have a waiting period, a 9-month. Now, we already know that we're pregnant. We already know that the baby is about to come. We already know all of that. We already know, but we don't know. It's out of our control how it's going to go. It's out of our control what the baby's going to look like, what it's going to be like, what it's actually going to be. We just have to see the results, the outcome, and go through this 9-month run. 9 months. But sometimes in the waiting room, we don't always know how it's going to go. We don't know that it's going to be 9 months. We don't know if it's going to be 1 month. We don't know if it's going to be an hour. We don't know if it's going to be 1 second from now. We do not know. We're just waiting for the results, waiting for the outcome. We're like waiting and anticipating on what God has told us. He showed us. He already showed us. Just like when we're pregnant, we already see our bellies, expanding. We see it growing, but in the process, we are growing. Our body is changing. There are some changes that has to take place during the process of us waiting and preparing for this baby. Now, most of the time, I will say for both of my children, when I was carrying both of my children, both of these babies, because it's the same thing. Like people be like, you said you only have 2 babies. I'm like, yeah, but my businesses are my babies as well, because I gave birth to these ideas that God had put inside of me. So these are my babies too. My Beyond the Cover Academy is my baby because I gave birth. I delivered this to the world. I carried this. Our gifts are very, we have to deliver them and we have to carry them. And, sometimes they are heavy, but when we are delivering them and we know what God has told and showed us, but during the process, we're like, okay, I know this baby is growing, but I don't know how it's going to look. I don't know the outcome of this baby. I don't know nothing. I just know that I am giving birth to this baby. And in the process of, as a mother, giving birth to a baby, whether it's C-section, natural, whatever, our bodies still do the contractions. We still got to go through all of that. Our bodies still go through the natural, things. So when it gets to that moment, to the very end of delivery, when we're about to give birth to this baby, whether it is this gift, because our babies are gifts anyways, but our actual physical baby gift, or the gifts that God has bestowed inside of us that are not human. When it comes to the delivery of giving birth to that baby, it's like all hell is breaking loose. Everything. Like, honey, I'm not gonna even get into when I had my two, honey. I could not do it again. Unless, God had me to do it. But when it comes to delivery, like the whole time, we may feel some kicks and some hits, whatever. Whatever, it may hurt. When it gets closer we may have the Braxton Hicks, the little kicks that really feel legit, like it's about to, like make us ready to quit. We're like, this ain't no Braxton Hicks. This is the real legit stuff. I'm getting hit. This hurts. And it's like right before we're about to give birth to this beautiful, awesome gift that we have never seen before, that God has given just to us. This baby girl, this baby boy, or this spiritual gift that God has put inside of us. When we're giving birth to this wonderful gift, and we're on the delivery table, that's when we feel everything, all the pain, near death, all of that. It's like everything, like all at once. Like there's no explanation for it. For those women that, oh yeah, just the baby popped out of me and nothing. Good for you. It just popped out of you. That's great. But it's still, you still felt the contractions. You still had to go through the real delivery. It was extreme, if you know what I mean. Giving birth, having a baby come out of your body is extreme. So when you're letting that baby, that is the most, you have I don't know, because some people are just so relaxed, I don't understand it. But I'm a realist. So there was no relaxation about it. It was like, especially for my first child, I'm like, oh, it's real. I'm about to really, this baby is really about to be outside of my body. And it's just like, the spiritual gifts, it's about to be outside of your mind. The visions, the everything is about to be outside for the world to see. You're going to finally see it, and be in it and deal with it and all of that. But anyways, while in the waiting room, there's a lot of anticipation. There's a lot of, hesitation. There is a lot of everything. Like, you're like, come on. And it seems like when you're in the waiting room, it seems like everything irritates you. You see the doctors walking around, you're like, what's going on? Like, don't walk past me. I don't want you giggling with nobody else. I don't want nothing. Tell me what is going on. I need the results now. You don't want to wait. The anticipation, them just having you waiting in the waiting room is just like, oh my goodness, I need to know. I need to know. Like, because you want to know, you want to see the results. It's just like when we're giving birth to our baby. We want to see the results. All this pain, I want to see this thing that's been giving me pain, that's been kicking me and not allowing me to sleep. Let me see what this is. We're ready to see our kid. The same thing with our gifts. We're ready to see our gifts, but we had to go through a process. We had to watch our stomach grow. We had to watch our body change. We had to watch our eating habits change. Everything changed. We did not remain the same. There's nobody. Even though people will say, oh, your body stayed the same after 2 kids. How did that happen? I don't know. But anyways, my body changed. It's not the same. No. Nothing is the same. It may look like the same, but it is not the same. There is a lot of changes that had to take place in order for this gift to be birthed out. And don't pout on this route that you are about to embark on. Even after the delivery, we were thinking like, Okay, I went through the hard part. I gave birth to this baby. I gave birth to this business. It's done. I did it. I took the faith, the walk of faith. I got the business out. It's done. It's out there. I shouldn't have to do nothing else. Everybody should just, come on to me. La da da da. Same thing with the kid. Oh, it should be easy peasy. This is my baby. Everything should be fine. And you can listen to everybody and what they did. You can ask your mother, your brother, your sister, your uncle. You can ask everybody around you, but don't nobody have your child. Nobody has your child. I don't care if they're similar. Nobody has your child. They cannot tell you what to do with your child. Your child is different. So you're going to have to only look up to God to figure out how in the world, what he wants you to do with this child. It's so different that, you have to look to God. Like, why? What do I need to do with this child? This is your child, Lord, that you gave to me. Because they would do stuff just like Yahweh that may not make sense to us. But if we trust in God and we discuss things with God, I'm always talking to him about them. What's going on with them? Like, they seem a little bit out of control to me, but I know that the Almighty see beyond me. So we must know that he's in control. Now, they may not go with the flow that we think they should go. We put them on the right road, and that's the same thing that God, he's like, I'll put you on the right road. But we have to let go and let God. We have to trust in God, just like our kids trust in us. They don't know how the bills get paid. They don't know nothing. They just flicking on lights, eating, putting clothes on. They don't have a care in the world. They don't care. And, it don't seem fair to us. We're like, yeah, just flicking lights on. I'm over here, making sure everything is done. But, they're not worried about nothing, which is a good thing. We don't want them to worry about nothing, but they don't know nothing that we're doing behind the scenes. They don't know the attacks that is on our backs. They don't know nothing. They just waking up, they sleeping in, just resting, fully resting, and waking up, stretching, and, not worried about nothing. They don't know where we're going every day. They don't know nothing. They just trust that, I don't know where we're going, but mama knows, or, that's all that matters. I don't have to know. And that's what God is wanting. He's wanting us to let go of the control. We don't have to know. That's why he has us in the waiting room a lot. He taught me a lot of patience. I don't ask for patience. I will never ask for patience ever again in my life. But he would teach you patience with kids. He would teach you patience with a business. He will teach you patience in the waiting room. In the waiting room. And while you're waiting, he's seeing how you act. As a matter of fact, you're still going through a test before he bless. He want to see what you do when you're stressed and you feel like you're stuck in some mess. You're like, Lord, I'm waiting. I don't know what's going on. Everything seems like it's going left when I'm going right. This ain't right. What's going on, Lord? And you have to wait on the answer from the Lord. He ain't telling you nothing. He just moving and grooving behind the scenes. Everything, it just seemed like boom, boom, boom. Like, you gonna let them attack me? Jeremiah had his moment. He was like, I know. Like, you, Lord, me and you know each other. Like, we know each other. Like, I know you, you know me. So, we know each other. You know me. You test me. You see me still down here. You know I'm down here. He said, I know. Because he know God is in control. He said, I know. He said about 3 or 4 times, you're not going to allow my pleasant vineyard to become parched and desolate. I told him what you told me to tell him. I didn't fail him. I told him what you told me to tell them. I didn't fail them not one time, Lord. I did exactly what you told me to do. So I know he said it 3 or 4 times. Y'all need to read it. He was letting God know, like, look, I did everything that you told me to do. But God don't want you to be confused. If you have done everything that is right in God, that God has told you to do, just let him do what he do. That's all you can do. Just wait. Just wait in the waiting room. Just wait in the waiting room. Don't mumble, don't grumble. He said do everything without grumbling and complaining. Without. So we can't have any doubt. All we need to do is shout and not pout when it seems like we're in a drought. That's why Jeremiah was like, I know. After I've done everything you told me to do. I mean, I know you know I'm still down here, you know. I know you're not going to allow my pleasant vineyard to become parched and desolate. But sometimes God allows certain things to happen. He allowed Daniel to go into the lion's den for his glory. Because again, he's going to get the glory for your story, honey. I cannot tell you anything about my life. I cannot take no credit. I don't know. I don't know how stuff is going to get paid. I'm always in a waiting room. I'm always in a waiting room. Everybody's like, how are you so happy? And you just don't know nothing. And well, our kids are just happy and they just don't know nothing, you know? I don't know what's going on behind the scenes, but I do trust the one that does know what's going on behind the scenes. Now, I am being real. And God helped me deal with the real of my feels because I was like, I'm too real. I have to talk to the Lord exactly how, because he already know. He already know. He already know. So you trying to fake like, oh, I'm so happy, Lord. This is just so wonderful that I'm going through this stuff. That's fake. That's fake. I'm not going to be fake with the Lord. I'm going to tell him exactly how I feel. He said, cast all your cares and burdens unto him. So I'm going to tell him, with all that I come on my burdens. I'm giving it to him. He said all of them, not some of them, not part of them, not a little bit of them. So I know that he's in control. So I'm letting go of these burdens. Lord, you see, I've done everything that I could possibly do. There's nothing, absolutely nothing else. I'm in the waiting room. I'm in the waiting room. Waiting on the Lord to come back with the results. Waiting on the Lord to tell me something. Waiting and anticipating. But I have to wait in the waiting room. In the waiting room. And you know how when we're in the waiting room, we're like, he said be anxious for nothing, but we're like, hey, could you get the doctor and tell them I'm still here? And they're like, oh, the doctor be right with you. He knows you're waiting. And you're like, well, hurry up. Then, you know, you ain't gonna just have me up here, you know, just waiting like this. But we have to just wait. Because no matter how much we poke and, hey, can you come on now? You know, it's not going to happen on our time. It seems like, have you ever noticed that the more we press and we're ready to go, the more time it takes? It's like it takes even long. We're watching everybody else is not grumbling and complaining and ready to go. They just sitting, chilling, reading the magazine, you know, just keeping their minds, you know, whatever. And here we are like, oh, they need to hurry up. And we watch them go. We watch everybody go around us, except for us, because we are anxious. We're ready to go. And the main time when we're ready to go, that's when we're the last ones. That's when all of this other stuff happens. And by the time we get our answer, we're ready to start slapping. But that's when we need to start tapping into remembering who we are and whose we are. Even in our frustration, he said we can be angry. He said, I understand you angry. You've been waiting. You've been waiting, and you have things that you think you need to be doing right now. But I got you. You too worried, so I'm gonna make you wait longer. I'm gonna make it seem like everything, and then you thinking, well, maybe it's gonna be something good. You try to psych yourself into thinking it's just gonna be good, maybe, and then you don't get the good news, and then you're like, now you're confused, and you're like, what is going on? Like, I waited. I'm thinking maybe, it's gonna be something good, and then it's the opposite. And then now, after you have been waiting for the result, now you got to wait again to see if you're going to win or beat whatever it is that they have told you or showed you. Now you're back in another waiting process. So what do you do when you're in the waiting room? You're not going to like what I have to say. You have to wait. Wait. You really have to wait. But while you're in the waiting room, just know that God is in control. And I know you're like, I already been told it. I don't want to hear this right now. I'm going through some stuff. We all do. And believe me, yes, we all do. We all go through some stuff where we don't want to wait. We need results right now. Like, we're like, Lord, we too close. We need to be waiting. But that's why we have to wait. But that's why we have to wait. That's why we have to wait. We should already know what it takes. We have to wait. We have to wait. That's it. There's nothing, and we can't quit. We cannot quit. Even when we're in the pit, we cannot quit. Because that's when God shows up. That's when we get that glow up. When we spend that time with God. Because this is the time when you feeling anxious, go on a fast. Because, honey, I go on a fast real quick. I don't care. I don't need to talk to nobody. I don't care about hearing from nothing. I need to just hear from the Lord. So I will go on a fast. And I'm just going to spend time with me and God because I need some answers. I've been in this waiting room. I don't know what's going on. I need to talk to you, Lord. So it's like when the doctor comes in and they close the door, it's just you and the doctor. It's just me and the Lord. And we talking, okay, you just told me this. What do I need to do with this? With this that's going on in my life? This is how, what do we need to do? We need to talk to him. We need to go on a fast. Eliminate all distractions. If you feel like you cluttered and all of this stuff, there's too much going on, that means it's too much going on. There's too much going on. You're going to have to eliminate the other stuff that's going on that don't need to be going on. So you already got enough going on. So you can't be over here helping doing all this. Fix your situation. Even God said in his word, get your house in order. So we have to have our house in order so that we can help others. That's what God has us to do. So we don't be confused when we are helping others. He wants us to get our household in order. And he said, get yourself right. So I don't feel guilty. I can't wait. I'll be ready. Like, Lord, I need to take a break. I still got to do what he has me to do, but I will take a break from everybody. I don't want to hear from nobody but God. In the waiting time, you need to talk to God. And when you come down from God, you're going to be glowing and showing. Everybody going to be knowing that you spent some time with God. So you're going to have to put pride to the side, quit asking everybody else and talk to the Lord for yourself. Ain't nobody else gonna be able to tell you. You're gonna be mad, looking sad. But I guarantee you'll be glad when you take that time to talk to God. I don't, moment stuff, I'm like, I don't want to really talk to nobody. I need to, because have you not noticed that everybody's going to irritate you because they don't have the slightest clue they saying, stuff that's just idiotic dumb or just generic stuff. And you're like, have you tried, calling them? They just say the most common sense stuff that you would have out. And you're like, I can't talk to nobody. I cannot talk to nobody because this is generic. This is just ridiculous. It's just frustrating you even more. So it's just best at that moment that you're already dealing with the real, that you get out your feels and you deal with it with the Lord and you and God. Yahweh, when the burden seemed heavy, because when we carrying this cross, when real people that's really following God, that's really taking this faith journey, like me, I'm really taking this faith journey. I'm really available to God. When you're really and truly dependent solely on the Lord to supply all of your needs, all of them. Nobody's going to understand. No, you're going to look retarded. People going to be looking at you like, oh my gosh, why not just get this, go get a job, go get this, go do that, go do boom, boom, boom. Don't go to God. I have yet to hear one thing go to God. That's everything else. And you're just looking like, yeah, because you're not going to survive without that. No, I'm not going to survive without God. He supplies when my money looking funny and bills still get paid. It ain't nothing but the Almighty. Do you hear me? See, but nobody, unless you are really on this faith journey, understand. They don't understand. They do not understand how heavy the burdens can be. And then they start looking at you like like you the problem. Well, if they would have just did this or did that. No, this is just my assignment that I did not choose. I've been talking to the Lord and saying, I don't have to do this assignment. If you can give me another assignment, I'd rather do that. But your will be done. I did ask for your will in my life. I did ask you to take over my life. So, hey, if that's not the way that you want me, hey, I will do it your way. Yahweh, Jesus went up to him 3 or 4 times. All his little friends, sleeping and everything. And he's like, what the heck? I'm about to die and everything else, and you over here sleeping. Oh, Lord, and that's what I'm telling you. When you're in the waiting room and, the burden is heavy and you're just like, Lord, what in the world? And everybody around you just seem nonchalant and they act like they don't hear what really is going on, I guess, because you don't look stressed or whatever, because you've been blessed by the Lord to, have this peace that surpasses all understanding. So I guess since you are not just looking pathetic, that people are just thinking like, oh, well, God is going to got them. They got more faith than you, And but it's frustrating how lax they can be, how relaxed they can be. You can't really talk to them. All you can do is talk to the Lord, but you at least want them to pray for you or just do the simplest stuff, like just simple stuff. But they over here sitting on their butts, going to sleep, relaxing, and you dealing with heavy stuff. You help them with all their little petty stuff while you deal with heavy stuff. You hear me? Let's discuss some stuff. You dealing with heavy stuff. They come to you with petty stuff. You help them with their petty stuff, but they can't even dare stay up and keep watch for you or nothing while you go up to the Lord to talk to the Lord and be with the Lord, like, Lord, this thing is pretty heavy, if we can do something else, we can go a different route, we can do a detour, I'll be good with it. Whatever we need to do, we need to change something up where I don't have to go on this route. I won't pal, I won't, honey. So what you want to do? Because if I don't have to really do this, I'm good. He was in the waiting room. Nothing was said. So he go back. His homeboys, disciples, still just relaxing, sleeping. He's like, what the? They ain't even helping me out. They ain't praying for me. They ain't doing nothing. Oh, Lord. He going back to the Lord like, oh my gosh, like you say this, Lord, like I don't have nobody but you, Lord. Like, so if this is your will, Lord, if this is your will, let it be done. But I am your son, I'm just saying. I'm just saying I can pay for their sins. But I'm just saying if there's another way. And then, he was in the waiting room again. Went back to his so-called friends again that betrayed him. People will start betraying you and everything. But Jesus went up there 3 times. 3 times while he was in the waiting room. Because I felt a little bad. I'm like, Lord, I don't want to seem like I don't trust you or whatever. But he let me see Yahweh. When I felt like I kept going to the Lord too much, I'm like, I don't want to go to him because I don't want him to think that I don't trust him, but I just want to know. I'm in the waiting room. I don't know what's going on. It just seems crazy right now, So, I kept going to the Lord. But he said, acknowledge him in all of your ways. So that's what I was doing, what he said. Acknowledging him in all of my ways. So, but when I seen that Yahweh, the only perfect person that has never seen it. I've seen, but Yahweh ain't never seen it. He was going like through what I'm like, okay, I know he trusted God. I knew, you just know. So I'm like, okay, if he went, then I'm good with the Lord, because I don't want to disrespect, I don't want to disrespect my father at all. So I don't want him to think that I don't trust him or nothing, because I think that was one of my things. Like, I was scared to just keep coming to the Lord, so I would just keep doing things. But God is like, acknowledge me in all of your way. And I'm like, but I'm gonna come to you all day if I because I'm in the waiting room. I don't know what's going on, So, but we have to stay strong, even when we don't know what's going on. We have to stay strong and just accept the assignment. I mean, if God ain't changing nothing on the assignment, it don't matter what it look like. It's going to look crazy to everybody, because we have to go through the most so that he can get his glory for our story. And it looks like we did something bad. And, just like Peter that had been with him the whole time, betrayed him. But this was all part of the assignment. This is all part of what was going to happen to him. Now, Yahweh did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. But they made him look like he was wrong. They made him look like he was wrong, even though he wasn't wrong. He did nothing wrong. He said, what did I do wrong? No, what did I do wrong? But this is how the world will make you look. If you don't go by their book, they will make you look like you're doing something wrong. No, I'm not doing it your way. I'm doing it Yahweh. I'm doing it God's way. But when you are doing it God's way, you look crazy to people. You look like you don't have things together, or you look like, you're a crook or whatever. And it's like, Yahweh did nothing. He was like, what did I do? What did I do? Tell me what sin have I committed? What have I done wrong? I've healed people. I did all this good stuff. What bad have I done? They couldn't even find nothing. They couldn't even say nothing, but they still spit on him. They get so upset because they can't find nothing on you. The devil, the enemy gets so mad because no matter what he throws at you, you are still doing what God has you to do. You're not flipping out. You're not pouting. You're not even doubting. You're just like, God, I know this is you. I don't know why you got me going through this, but I trust you. You still loving on the Lord, and he's mad. He is mad. He mad. He mad, but you should be glad that he mad. You should be glad that he mad. But he's going to make everything look like what it's not like. Yahweh, Jesus did nothing wrong. Nothing. They couldn't even find nothing on him. But he got the win at the end. Up, because he never sinned. See, when God finds you innocent, no weapon formed against you shall prosper. The weapons are going to form against you, but they shall not prosper. We have to go through the lion's den, but we won't get devoured in the lion's den. We have to go through some things so we don't look like the Pharisees and look down on people and all that stuff that they do. We're going to have compassion. We're going to have love. We're going to, do better because we've been through everything. Because we actually took the journey of faith. We actually know what it takes. So anybody else that's doing what it takes, we don't look at them wrong or say that they're not strong. We look at them as strong, like, oh, I know you holding on. I know you strong. But when you don't do things the traditional way or the way that they think you should do it, they're like, oh, yeah, see, you should have. No, I should do what God has me to do. That's what I should do. No matter what I got to go through. Yahweh was like, look, I'd been to you 3 or 4 times just to see if I didn't have to do this. I didn't have to go through this. He did nothing wrong. He did nothing wrong. Nothing wrong. They still lied. And denied the fact that he was out of the tomb. You strapped him in, you did all that, you kept the guards right there, all of this stuff. They try to trap you in, they try to do all of this stuff, but when you come out of it, they're like, how in the hell? This person come out like, what? We made sure there was no way out. Yes, it is a way out. God, God is the ruler of all rulers. Ain't nobody over God, period. That's why I tell my friends, don't worry about no witchcraft. Don't worry about none of that because it can't do nothing to you as a man or woman of God. Nothing. It can go against you. You can have to deal with some extra things, but it's all going to work out for your good. They could not stop Joseph, period. His jealous people cannot stop you. They're going to stop themselves. They still needed Joseph at the end of the day. It may not have looked that way at the beginning, but at the end, my friend, at the end, you're going to win. At the end, you're going to win. Just continue to not sin. Continue to be right within, and you're going to win. They're going to need you. Right now, they think they higher than you. They're better than you because, they doing it the traditional way. So they're not going to, they don't have to deal with all the attacks because they're doing exactly what the enemy wants them to do. Look, do what they have them to do, Don't do what God has you to do. Don't go on that route. That route's too hard for you. Don't do that. You won't even know when you're going to get paid. You're going to get attacked. Be weak. Do what you do. I'm going to do what my Father has me to do. I don't care what it looks like. That's why you can't be a people pleaser. Because you can't please people in God. So you have to decide how you're going to ride. Because you can't please people in God. So if you're too busy worried about what they're going to say, oh, I don't want to look crazy in front of them. I don't care. You can look at me crazy or whatever, but you're going to keep seeing God just do what he do. I just tell the truth. People want to look like something that they're not like. And that's what doesn't help people. It doesn't help people when God delivered us out of Egypt and we become Pharisees. They don't help people. When he delivered us out of Egypt and we have compassion and we start helping others. And we don't look at them when they're going through something that we've been through, that God delivers us. We need to tell them. But now that we're out, we feel ashamed that, oh, I ain't gonna tell nobody that my credit was bad. I ain't gonna tell nobody. I don't care. I don't care about that traditional nonsense. Because at the end of the day, I'm on God's credit. No credit. I have not had a credit to be in any of the rooms that I've been in. I don't have none of the accolades, none of the degrees, none of the human stuff, human standards. I don't have none of the human standards. None of them, not even some of them. I don't have the human standards. But I have God's standards. Oh, that applies all of them. I can walk into rooms and people are like, how? So that's why I tell y'all, don't worry about them. Oh, but now all of a sudden, my money crazy. Now my credit going. Don't worry about all that. Don't worry because the door that God is about to make you explore, can't nobody shut that door. You're still going to walk through it, period. And now they're going to have to see the Almighty. Do you hear me? They're going to have to see my Father when I walk through because they're going to know everything that they did, honey. Since I was a kid, honey, they're going to have to remember everything. And nothing stopped. None of their plots that they dropped could stop what God is about to do. I mean, they're going to have to see God. They can stop you from having a job. God still will supply. They can stop anything. They can stop whatever. Your credit. They can stop any human thing that they can do. Do what you do. Do what you do, because I've watched the Almighty do exceedingly and abundantly. I went from parts to thousands, not just, the double digits. And I'm sure when I'm messing up in the triple digits, the quadruple, it's just going to be beyond. So, but we have to go through stuff. When I had that building, everybody was like, well, you had that building, and why would you give up the building? That's material. It's material stuff. I know God is going to, he gave me that, he's going to give me something way bigger, he's going to give me better, whatever he's going to do. I'm not attached to things. I'm attached to God. Long as God is by my side, I'm like Moses, like, if you ain't going, I ain't going. But if you tell me to go, show me the way. I'm going to follow you. I'm going with you. I'm not going if you're not there. And people ask me, like, why would you tell people, honey, because I didn't get myself here. God made sure. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He made sure that I knew that I knew that I knew. He told me. I was like, okay, good. And we think because God tells us that, this is where he's going to bring us to and all this stuff, everything should be just panned out. And no, everything went to the left. But at the end of the day, I was approved for better. Better. It's just God. And I couldn't get in it by myself, I'm telling you, it does not matter what they do. Don't get it confused. When God has you, they're going to see that God has you. They're going to see that God has you. They ain't got no choice but to see. Honey, God is with me. God is with me. You mad? People be mad that supposedly have more than you. They mad at you because the anointing that's on you. Because you're still happy. And they know what they're doing. They know what they know, but you still glowing and flowing and showing it up. You showing out. You don't have no doubt in your father. You know, they over here bitter because they let bitterness make them doubt my father. So now, and they may say, oh, I don't doubt God. I love God. No, you don't trust God at all because you over here astro projecting. You over here doing all this demonic stuff because you don't trust God. You put trust in a dang on crystal that God created and think that that has more power than the one that created it. That is the dumbest, idiotic stuff. That's a reprobated mind. Delusional, retarded mind. You are spiritually and literally blind. There is no way. That don't make any sense. No sense. I don't have to do nothing but pray. Pray to the Almighty, the only God, the creator of all things, the creator of the universe. This is so idiotic, dumb. You're so mad at God for no reason. I don't believe in God. I don't trust. God ain't the one that did it. These people, he told, if you read his word that you're scared to read, oh, I ain't gonna have nothing controlling me, but you let the job control you. You don't have no time for yourself. They got to tell you when you can be off and all this. I don't want to hear none of that, honey. Not even some of it. Because you disrespecting my father. So when you disrespect my father with saying that type of nonsense, a job that don't care about you, but God cares about you, that's why you're still here. You wouldn't be living or anything without God. He still loves you, even though that's what broke my heart. I'm like, dang, I've really been hurting my father. Like, dang. All the wrong that I've done in his face. It showed disgrace. Like, but he erased it. He loved me when I didn't love myself. Like, he loved me beyond me. And he's seen everything. He's not like human beings. He did not leave you. You left him. For them, the ones that still hurting you, they don't make any sense. They don't make any sense. And the enemy wants you to stay in that nonsense, that delusional nonsense. I'm not scared to say this stuff. I'm more concerned about how I'm making my father feel than some human being that needs to hear it. He said the truth will set you free. Yahweh said, why when I speak truth, you don't understand me? People that get offended by the truth, it's showing proof that you're not with God. You're walking around with the fake facade. And the more that you deny that you're walking around with the fake facade, the more you're going to live in a lie. God said, try me. Don't deny me. Try me. Try him. Let him see. You over here carrying all this stuff. We can't carry all this. Why God letting all this stuff happen to me? I can't carry it. You can't. I can't. None of us can. That's why it says everything when you read Joseph, when you read everybody, Daniel, David, Yahweh, and God was with him. And we have to have God with us. We can do all things through Christ, through Yahweh, through God that strengthens us. We cannot do this on our own. Yes, this is a heavy burden for us to carry. Yes. That's why he said, cast all of your cares and burdens unto him. All of them. Not some of them, not the ones you want to. He said, cast them all. Boom. I just give it to him. I've done all the works that I can do. Here, Lord. The peace that surpasses all understanding. You don't have peace without God. You can just tell people when they're lying. You just be looking at them like, okay. You have no peace. You over here saying that a dang on crystal gives you. This is sad. Adults are saying this stuff. When you're in a sober mind and you're not spiritually blind, this don't make any sense. It's just like, I know that adults cannot be really saying this and thinking this makes sense. And then they say, oh, I believe in God, but I don't believe in Yahweh. The Word was God. The Word is God. And the Word became flesh. So you won't read a word that is God. How is it God? Okay, I'm telling you what God did in my life. That is God doing in my life. That's what they were doing, telling you what happened in lives. So what God was doing in people's lives and healing people, that's God. Um, and then, the prophecies of God becoming flesh, it happened through Jesus. So again, that's God in the flesh, Jesus. So again, you can't get to God without the Son of God, which is God in the flesh. I'm trying to bless you, not stress you. So that is God. But the devil don't want you to believe in the Son of God because the Son of God is God in the flesh. What he wished he could he could be. That he could never be. Oh, Yahweh took that crown. Yahweh took that crown. See, honey, people be scared to say this type of stuff because they already know the attacks and all of that. The attacks are whack because God got my back. As long as I say the facts that God has me to say and I let him just talk through me, honey, it's a reality check. I'm gonna always protect my father. Like I'm gonna always say what he would have me to say. I'm gonna always be more worried about his feelings now. Because all these years I wasn't worried about his feelings. Like that's crazy. But I care more about me trying to I don't want to hurt God's feelings. Like he has feelings too. Like he is a jealous God, but I don't want to hurt his feelings because I do love him. Love everybody. Like, man, can't nobody on this earth tear us apart. Like, that is really my heart. God is like me, God, me, Yahweh. I mean, we are just like this. Like, there's no separating us anymore. Like, mm-mm. No, no, no. And I'm just trying my best to control my emotions because every time I talk about my father, I get emotional because it's just like, wow, like the love that you're looking for is in God. Like, man, like the peace, the joy, and then all the stuff that we do to hurt him. It's just like, and he still loves you. He is still like waiting on you to just come back. Like he like this. I know my child. Like we do with our children. Our children do the most. They do the entire most. Like what we would not allow no human being to do, but our children do. And we know if they wasn't our children, that funny. They're gonna be looking. They will be looking funny. But I mean, when it's our child, it's they do stupid stuff, but it does not stop our love. I tell my children, nothing you can do will stop me from loving you. Now, I may not be in agreement with what you do, but I won't. It doesn't have anything to do with me loving you. I'm going to always love you no matter what it is. Now, you will get disciplined and all that stuff because I love you. Because I love you. Because I don't want to see you fail. I don't. And God don't want to see you fail. That hurts. It hurts us as parents to see our children doing something wrong. We're like, no, I don't want you hurt. I don't want you to, do any of that stuff. Like, please, I love you. Don't run out there. Don't do this. Don't do that, because we love them. And if they do the opposite of what we had them to do, it's not because, oh, they didn't do what we did, because it's hurting them at the end. And God is like, dang, I don't want my child hurt. He don't want you hurt. That hurts him to see us hurt. That's why even on this live, I know it hurts him when I'm hurt. I know. I know. So that's why I just love him so much, because I know he don't want me to be hurt. And I know that when I am hurt or when I'm dealing with stuff, I can trust him. I can just give it to him and he will help me in it. But there's times that we are going to be in a waiting room. We're going to be in a waiting room. We have to be in a waiting room. We have to wait. We have to wait. We have to do what it takes. But we just need to start trusting more in God. Quit. Swallow your pride. Swallow your pride. Pride leads to destruction. Swallow your pride. Put the pride to the side and trust God. He the one that supplies all your needs. I tell people that have jobs, like, let them, well, no, I do love this. I love doing, I just don't like the way they do it. And so get paid to learn the ropes and you do it the way it should be done. You know, but use it to your advantage, for your good. So you won't be stressed and you'll be blessed, Use it to supply your business, your gifts. Use a job like that using you. God is the only one that cares for you. He said your gifts will make you prosperous. But we drop our gifts. We don't want to deal with our gifts, even our children. And there's so many people, I don't want, but we don't really mean it. But it's like we can't, this is our gifts. This is our gifts for life, So I mean, there's no we can't, even as well, I would say as me as a mother, I know there's some mothers that may have given up for whatever reason that's between them and God. But as for me, they are part of my destiny because they are part of me, period. God gave them to me for the rest of my life. I'm going to be their mother. You can't back out of being their mother. Like, I am their mother, period. Like, that's what it is. It came out of me, and these businesses came out of you. You can't run from it. You can try to do Jonah, but it's going to find you. It's going to keep finding you over and over. You can keep running, but it's going to keep coming. It's going to find you and remind you. But we need to trust in God, even in the waiting room. I know it's hard when we have done everything that God has us to do and it got us looking like a fool, but we still got to trust God. Yahweh did. He already knew. He said, and we get upset, and because sometimes our friends let us down and our friends betray us and all this stuff. That's why he allowed Yahweh to go through all of that stuff, so that we can see that this may happen on our journey as well, as we carry our cross. Our friends are going to betray us. He said to Judas, he said, do what you came here to do, friend. I read that to you. You better look at my other video. Do what you came here to do, friend. Matthew, the 26th chapter. Do what you came here to do, friend. He already told Peter that he was going to betray him. God already shows us who's going to betray us. Sometimes we're not as, we're trying to strive to be like Yahweh because he showed us the way. But, he was perfect. So we have to see him as the example of how we should be, when God is showing us our enemies that could be our frenemies. And we still have to show them love. The love from above, not our type of love. I love you, with the attitude. But like the agape love, the godly love. Regardless. Was none of us. Now, Yahweh was, but none of us. We probably betrayed some people or something or whatever, but so we judge not, or ye too will be judged. I ain't trying to be judged no more by God, so I better just be letting things slide and giving it to God. God, you said vengeance is yours, saith the Lord. You got them, that's your child. I'm gonna still love them and do what you have me to do. I'm glad you showed me them. I'm gonna move accordingly, but I'm still gonna do it in a loving way. I don't want to disobey the Almighty. I do want to do it His way. I do want to do what He say. So, in the waiting room, spend time with God. Swallow your pride. Spend time with God. There's nothing. It's out of your hands. When it's out of your hands, put it in His hand. He said, "Cast all your cares and burdens on Him." Oh, throwing it up there. We cannot carry these burdens. Why is this? He said He won't give us more than we can bear. He didn't, because if we ain't quitting, He's with us. It seemed heavy, but He got most of the weight. He's carrying most of the weight. When we let our kids, do things, they're like, "Oh, can you just help me?" No, I'm helping you by allowing you to take off these training wheels. Now I'm gonna push it for a minute, but then you're gonna have to ride this bike on your own. But I'm gonna show you the way. So we have to do things your way. We cannot continue to hit the highway. So you need to choose ye this day whom you're going to serve and pray and obey to in your actions. He said, "Why do you call me Lord, Lord, and you don't do what I say?" Do is the main thing. He don't know your name. You are bringing shame to His name because you want the glory. And that's why you can't stop, and because you got to make it look like something. I don't care. Look at my life. I can care less. I can care less. If it looked like a mess, I can care less. I can care less. But you too busy trying to care about a look. Quit worrying about how it looks. That's why all these kids are not found. And they're bound because you're trying to look like, you don't want to look like this in front of people. You don't want to look like that in front of people. I'm going to do the same thing I do at home. And I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm going to correct you at home. I'm going to correct you out there. I don't care. I'm not trying to look like something that I'm not like. No. I've never been like that. Nobody could ever say that. I've been the realest person anybody could ever deal with. Nobody, even as a child, they'll be like, "Don't tell Shanidra." Because they already know. If you don't want the real, see, He taught me, I'm still Shanidra. I still tell you the real reality, facts. But I don't do it like this no more. I'm not giving you the business. I still am able to use my hands because that's how God made me. He literally made me to talk expressively with my hands. I can't even talk to you without my hands. You see me doing all this and everything else, I can't talk without my hand. But I had to learn how to do it in a more loving way, because now that I have self-control over, He said we could be angry but sin not. But now that I have self-control, I know how to deal with it. I know how to do it in a more loving way where I'm not coming at you. Because I used to, you talking stuff, you saying nonsense. I'm going to hit you with the facts. You trying to attack with the wax. I'm about to hit you with the facts. I'm about to come back at you with the real that you don't want to deal with. See, I deal with my real. You can say whatever reality that you want to. And I've already accepted my reality. But you haven't accepted yours. So that's the only way on this road that we're going to be able to get self-control. We can't say that, "Oh, I'm not mad," while we're mad. It looks sad. You have to accept that you are mad. I realize that I am mad. And that gives me more control of the situation. When I acknowledge the fact that I'm mad, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh no, you cussing me out it does not affect me at all. It does not affect me. But it ain't like I'm gonna be happy go lucky, hunky dory. Like of somebody yelling at me. I'm not happy about it. That's weird. Somebody too happy, I'm looking at you like a lunatic, like too excited for me to be, something wrong, something ain't right. So I'm never happy and excited about somebody getting smart with me or yelling at me. But now I have self-control. Now I can hear them. I hear what they say, but I can really hear them and see them. Beyond what's in front of me when I take me out of it. Because what was happening, that God had to show me was I was taking it offensively because I was taking it like it was towards me when it was just being. They'd be saying some stuff, and I'm like, hold on, who you think? And then, none of us is listening. But when I took Shanidra out of it, when I took myself out of it, I'm like, oh, you made it about something that happened at your job. Like, that had nothing to do with me, Then you can clearly see and you can actually help. That's why he said be slow to speak and quick to listen. That's what you're missing. We got to be slow to speak and quick to listen. So that's all I have to say on today. We must trust and obey the Almighty. We must do it to Yahweh so we don't have to hit the highway. Choose ye this day, whom you're going to serve in your actions. That's the only thing that's going to bring satisfaction to God is your actions. So take a look. You ain't even got to tell nobody else. Just talk to him. He know all your stuff. And he still love you. He still wants you. You wouldn't even be able to walk, talk, see, breathe, move here without him waking you up every morning. And he's allowing you to do that because he still loves you. He still sees something in you. He still wants to use you. I keep telling people that, oh, you ain't done half the stuff I've done. I've been out here. Like, you ain't been out here in the world. Okay. So you can, when God transform you into the new creation and people see the new you, they're going to want who changed you. So you're going to be able to reach all of them. You're going to be able to reach way more than me because you done been through more than me, and they're going to see what God has brought you out of and how you changed and didn't remain the same. They're going to be like, oh, I want the same thing, So it don't matter how much you've done. Oh, I've done more than you. That's God could use you because you wasn't doing all that. You hurried up and got it right. No, I messed up a lot. So I didn't do all the other stuff because it's just smoking just looks disgusting to me. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff that's just not me, so I couldn't even make it me. But if that was what you chose to do, you'll be able to reach everybody that does that or does any of the many things that you have done. And you'll be able to bring them to the Son of God, Yahweh, God in the flesh. I'm trying to bless. So again, my friend, don't be stressed in the waiting room. Take that time to fast so you can last. And you won't be a thing of the past. Because God is going to put everybody on blast. So that's all I have to say. Just trust him, obey the Almighty, and do it his way. Have a nice night.